All right. This is second recording. I ran out of disk space, so I had to go dig up a hard drive from somewhere. This is the range video where I explain the different types of low singing that I've learned, how I learned it, what order I learned them in, what notes I can do, and stuff. My first one was cut off short and corrupted, but it was very unorganized. But now that I know how I want to do this, it's going to be a lot nicer for you. So we are going to start with subharmonics and make our way all the way to growling, because that's kind of the order I learned everything in. So here we go, I guess. So subharmonics are when you are singing a note and you relax to the point where your false chords, like you would in falsetto or whistle tones, your false folds, I forget exactly what they're called. They just start vibrating and cracking, and they drop the note that's heard down an octave. So you're not actually singing an F1. You're singing an F2 plus a fifth, whatever a fifth from an F2 is. You're singing an F2 by yourself. You've got a fifth that's happening somewhere in your voice, and then the output sounds like F1. It's very similar to how pedal tones are created in lower instruments of that sort. So it sounds like ooh. It's very proper, very low, and very surprising when you hear it. Ooh. And a lot of the examples I'll give for most of these will be octave drops, but they don't have to be, because when you learn what it feels like, you can just kind of do it. And so, like, I might give song examples for most of these. So a subharmonic one would be either Jeff Gustalecci. How do you say his last name? I don't know how to say his last name. The bass for Voice Play does this all the time. He's really good at it. So like his song, that he just did a cover of had a C2 down to a F1. So that would be Headless Man, Headless Man. And then one of his earlier Halloween ones that he did with Voice Play had it was a B. And then subharmonic E1. So he did all that in chest and then flipped a subharmonic for that. So there's a lot of, you hear that cracking, but it sounds awesome. It's easy to mix. You just, you can cut more air out. I'm messing with my dials at the moment. You cut more air out if you want to just hear the vibrations. You cut a little bit of the low out if you just want it to be a backward thing. It's really easy to mess with. And that's the first thing I did. I started subharmonics after listening to Voice Play for a bit, because I really wanted that Oogie Boogie song, low note. Oogie Boogie Man. Boo. And that was my goal for the longest time, was just that note. And it's awesome that it's pretty consistent for me now. And subharmonics, proper subharmonics, led into the next one, which would be fry notes, or what I call relaxed subharmonics. These are subharmonics that you can do while laying down, while just sitting down. They're really easy to do, but they're hard to make sound nice. Like especially the higher up they are. Maybe I should turn the piano down. But so I just did it right there. So when someone is sick, or they have a little bit of throat irritation from waking up in the morning or from screaming last night, that is where vocal fry, or what I call relaxed subharmonics, come into play. It's the exact same process of relaxing and letting your voice throw it down an octave, but it's quieter and more relaxed, which means that you can do it lower and higher than you can the proper subharmonics, but it also means it's using more air and it's harder to EQ or mix into a song. So like my regular subharmonics can, I think, barely get a D out of my proper subharmonics, but my relaxed subharmonics, I've gotten them down to the 0 octaves. I don't think I can do that right now. I don't think I'm getting a 0. No, 0 octaves aren't happening. But the relaxed subharmonics are nice because they're easy to sing along to songs with. No one else will hear you if you sing a wrong note. They're just a nice way to practice the proper subharmonics, really, because like if you're trying to practice a song but you don't want to blow the ears out of someone next to you, you can use that, especially because I know some bass singers really get close to that microphone. They like drop all their highs out and they get as close as they can to utilize. They do that. I don't like doing it, but that's what relaxed subharmonics would be used for. I'm going to turn my highs back up. So relaxed subharmonics lead into this next thing, which I think is called mixed voice. That's not what I call it because I don't really understand why it's called mixed voice. I call it forced chest, which is what I did. That's what I did my G scale in that one video. So what forced chest is it's how do I explain it? So you are tightening your throat to the point where it's almost the same exact throat structure as you would be if you were doing whistle tones, but instead of letting it squeak, you're letting it rattle. So you're hitting the same notes as you would the subharmonics and whatnot, but it sounds more bassy. It sounds more unnatural. You would use stuff like that for really quick low notes because subharmonics are kind of hard to get quick. You use forced chest or mixed voice for really quick low notes or for a really powerful end of a song. I don't know if I have any examples of mixed or forced chest. There was a G1, but I can't remember how it went. I can play it. I can edit out the part where I'm looking at it. Dreamland. So that's what that is. And I'm really... The forced chest is something that I do a lot. I like how that one sounds. It's the one I'm most comfortable with. After all this is the... well, there's 2 more, technically, and there's a lot more. The next one would be inhale singing, but it's so hard to use. Inhale singing, it's hard to match notes. It's hard to hear what note you're hitting. Some like note identification programs won't pick it up at all. It's just because it's so weird, and I've only seen like one person use it in their songs. I can't match it, I don't think. It's all it is. It's like when you're talking like this, but instead you're just doing a note. It's easy to do. It's hard to make it work. So I don't classify it. It's so hard to match. So the next one that is actually widely used is growling. It's the most natural way to do a low note, but it's the most labor intensive to learn and do properly. So all it is you imagine you're clearing your throat, like, and that rumbling that feels like it's right at the bottom of that little crevice in your throat, that little rumbling, you focus on it, and that's a note. I think mine's always at an F sharp, so that was a G. So It'll be around the same as your talking voice the first time you do it, an octave from your talking voice. Really easy to match notes with, hard to go up with, but kind of easy to go down with, and it's not a lot of notes, but it's wonderful for finishing songs. Absolutely outstanding. It happens all the time. Home free voice play, Pentatonics uses it. It's nice and easy for a finisher. It's hard to use in the middle of a song because you need a breath to do it first. You can't just there's a little break. There's a little teensy tiny bit of space in between the two notes, and that will always be there. And if it isn't there, then it has been edited or there are two tracks playing. So I don't know what examples I have of this one. So I think that was, if you do it with your mouth closed, it's good on a microphone, but if you're doing it live next to people, you want to do it with your mouth open, but that doesn't sound very good on a microphone. You get a lot of air. That's the only thing you got to worry about when EQing these is air. I haven't been talking about my range for the last few things. My growl can go, it's naturally around an F and a G. It can go up to a C, I think. So it's around a B or a C is the highest. B2, C2. Or is that B1? That's B1. B1 and C2 are around the highest, and then I've heard it go down to a C before. Wow. It takes a lot of breath. I didn't mention that. It'll make you lightheaded if you do it too many times. No. We've got an E right now. It changes. So, fun video. If you want me to do some of this live and you want to hear certain things like, oh, can you go from a... That's... Like if you want me to go high to low, see how fast I can do it or whatnot, let me know. I'd be happy to. I'm not doing anything like ever. Another weird thing, which as far as I can tell has only applied to me, when I sing high for a little bit, I can sing lower for the next little bit, and they go back and forth. So like if I sing something super low, my voice can go a little bit higher for a few minutes. And then if I sing a bit higher for a few minutes, my voice can go a bit lower for a few minutes, and they kind of bounce off each other back and forth. So if there was like some ridiculous inconsistent note you wanted me to hit, like a D1, like I don't think I can. I can do it right now, not a good example. That's C1, bad example. If you wanted me to do something like that in a song, you would have to have me sing something relatively high before, so not happening. Bad example because the D didn't work out. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. So in conclusion, low stuff is fun to learn. Anyone can learn it, as far as I can tell, since we are pretty much what's the word? What's the phrase? We're the same in here. I've taught girls how to growl. I've got a female friend that can hit some notes in between here because they learned how to growl. I've seen some girls do subharmonics, which is awesome to hear. There's a video on YouTube of a girl doing a B2, but the whole thing just takes a lot of time and effort, and not a lot of people want to be lower, so they never really take the time, which is cool that I'm here for that. Anyways, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want a more detailed look at my range, I'm sure I could come up with a nice graph or something. Not graph, image. Something to show you where they overlap, where they stop and start, all that stuff. If you want to ever learn how to do any of these, I don't know why you would, especially because you use your voice a lot. Stuff on YouTube. I could try to help. I'm not the best teacher. But yeah, there's a bunch of videos online. If you ever want to meet up and do this in our private Zoom meetings, you can make me your guinea pig for a while. That works for me. I don't mind. And if you ever want me to do this in a song, let me know so I can practice. If you ever want me to do it in class or talk about any of this in class, I do not mind. But other than that, I think that's it. I now have 21 minutes of footage to go through because I'm awkward and don't write out scripts before recording. Thank you for watching.